Discover cowrie shell divination, ancient wisdom at your fingertips. You set the shells, I decode your answers, love, career, and more. We've got the guidance you seek. Tap into shamanic roots, uncover your inner energy, chase your dreams, learn from the wisdom of tribal mystics, bridging the gap to your potential. Supercharge your experience with us. Book now at tonyad.tv for self-discovery, and I will see you on the other side. Ashe. Inshallah and Ashe. It's a mystical, magical Monday, and divine wills blessings to you and for you as always. I am the Tonya D. I am your go-to holistic shaman medium, otherworldly life coach, and a reflector by design, a seer of the unseen, and oh my goddess of the night, the lunarities. If you have yet to subscribe here on YouTube, please do, but also to join me live to spill the tea in my online coven. How? Simple, really. Just subscribe to my musing newsletter, thought-provoking musing news. Come sip some cosmic brew, some simmering tea, the third Friday of each month, coming to an online theater through Zoom. Last week was actually all about the elementals, the subtle energies, or last month, or this month, finishing it up. What elemental boosts your energetic centers? So I want to give a shout out actually to all of you that joined me live at Crohn's Hollow for Gift and Purpose for this month's muse there. This is just setting the stage for some inner aha moments. And we are stabilizing the drawbridge, drawing the line in the sand, tidying up our sacred space, and entering the season of Sagittarius this week. It's like the blessing bowl, a gift of gratitude, a gift of thanks. And with that, welcome to the weekly snippet, which was once the daily snippet. And if you are new to my show, my channel, I generally muse about the cosmic insights, the planets, the elementals of the galaxy doing their cosmic dance by following the lunar energies of the moon as a reflector, the moon through both the seasons and the gates on the highway. And I believe we all have intuitive gifts. And if you're feeling called to navigate yours, go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz. It's super fun. To find out your gift order, your intuitive ability, we all have them. I also muse about the 4 pillars of destiny, the elementals of the day, the pathways, meridians. And as a reflector, I'm continually asking myself, I'm hyper aware of the environment, people, places, and things, and time. So I'm always asking myself, is this the right time? Am I in the right space? Are these the right people? Feeling the energy, frequency, vibration. And what else am I seeing or sensing or creating? And what's the solution within this creation? Within every movement, actually. It's kind of like of mice and men. But the key is always really trusting our intuition. So go ahead and take my intuitive quiz, Change Your Stars. If you're super curious about your intuitive gift, some of them may be not of this world. They might be otherworldly. The out-of-body energetic centers light up a different field and a different stage. And I really believe cleansing our auric field. I've actually been seeing what I would call some Teflon mapping, or energy markers actually, but they look like a chess game or checkers is kind of what I'm saying. Either way, journaling with the moon, no rabbit holes here, through the seasons and the gates. The Sacred Spirit Circle meditation for the season of Sagittarius is going to be on the highway here, the first day of Sagittarius, or the first degree, which is the 22nd of November. And as we are stepping stones moving forward with our gift and purpose, it's time to really transform our life, the life we've been living. It's like, are we being authentic to our soul, our spirit, our gift, our purpose, and really diving deep. And this is kind of the end energy of Scorpio season this week. And also Pluto. Pluto is going to be moving out of Capricorn, which is the ruler of Scorpio. So you may be really tidying up the streams of that frequency energy before we, actually enter into Sagittarius season. So just those future steams from the dark ages. Our outer otherworldly, power is shifting. So it's time to really step onto the stones, coming into our own innate power to coordinate great transformation. It's time to initiate the great change, the shift. We're in the season of transformation in the Dagara season. Years ending in 3 are all about being authentic. I think having Pluto and Capricorn is like really pushing us to become our authentic selves. It's time to stir the cosmic soup and really have direct contact with the divine, with creator, with great spirit. Often transformation is a feeling, it's a result of an action to be seen. Sometimes we get those subtle energetic nudges, and they're subtle at first until they become more acute or chronic, I'll say. Often I find it's surrendering into the waters, getting into the flow, reconciling, grief ritual. The key is kind of like the pause point, the 0 point field between our breath, and taking that pause and feeling into our spiritual acumen, your spiritual or inspirited self. It's time to kind of respond in kind nature. Be kind to yourself, be compassionate to self, easing into a place of inner peace. And have you noticed an arena or an area of your life that your heart really desires to heartfelt transform? There's a duality here, and some walls are really coming down. Some of them are thick, some are being removed, possibly literally in the physical world, like a physical home remodel, or it also could be an energetic one as well. But the key to access transformation is really moving forward, onward, and upward, wherever you're at with your heart's divine intentions. I've been going live weekly on my Rising of the Origins, doing manifestations. It's a week to week process, giving you a guideline, if you will. I'm doing it for myself as well. But it's like, what part of our life are we intending to transform? And manifestations are a variety of things, not just wealth, but also health, relationships, home front, a new car, whatever it is you want to choreograph and create and bring into divine alignment. But it's really time to kickstart that arena, using our feelings as a force for greatness to be that guiding energy. It's our sacral channel, and tuning into the moon. The moon will be in the season of Pisces. So this is about feeling our spirit, initiating a great spirited action, allowing spirit to be what guides us to set up our sacred chambers and boundaries. And we're in the first quarter moon in Pisces, and we're kind of gravitating or navigating towards the full moon in Gemini, which is actually kind of an eclectic energy, awakening our inner genius, which is also part of our prime directive, our gift and our purpose. So hopefully we have some intuitive, really eclectic, aha, magic, miracle kind of moments is kind of what I'm musing about. So just a few announcements, of course. Got to have my menu. We do have the Sacred Spirit Circle Meditation. That'll be coming out on the first degree of Sagittarius season, the 22nd. But also the full moon in Gemini is going to be following. And again, gratitude, thank you for initiating my views over the galactic lunar eclipse rainbow, if you will, by the way. But being in the season where we really do have the opportunity to connect with the other world, the veil is thin. It really is time to really invoke our intentions and create some sacred space, connecting with your prime initiative, your inner genius. That's really out there. And we're kind of tidying up, I'd say, like the airwaves or the water waves, like what's going on in the depths of the water. What is the unseen trying to show us to be seen? My weekly podcast episode, you can actually now listen to on Audible. Super excited about that on this mystical Monday. And where's my fun little image here? There we go. This is Terry Hyman. You can tune into her as well for some mystical items. I do casting calls. You can also find it on my website, Musing with Tonya D. But Terry Hyman, this is like karmic of the witch, releasing karmic patterns from the witch archetype. And again, curiously enough, I've said this before, my ancestor, my lineage on my grandmother's side, my mother's side, was one of the witches first hung at the Salem witch trials. And what's fascinating even more so is Neptune is at that same degree when all that happened. But it's the flip of the switch. It's the duality this time around. So I find that super fascinating. Hope you do too. And cowrie shell divinations. I do offer cowrie shell divinations, one-on-one soul support. Sometimes you just need one divination. Sometimes you need more than one. I usually like to spread them out because there's some integration between ritual. I give ritual as a prescription, as medicine, like invoked from the other world when I do cowrie shell divinations, just really connecting you to your own magic, your own medicine. So if your soul's at a crossroads, you're feeling a little topsy-turvy-ish, schedule a cowrie shell divination. I do them in person at Crohn's Hollow, but I also do them live through Zoom. So you've got opportunity and you always have options. No just means new opportunities, right? You can browse my musing corridor as well for other opportunities I have. I do believe we are all stars on the spiritual walk of fame, and it's just time to light up the star that I believe we all uniquely are. I think everyone has their own magical starlight in the divine cosmic highway. But on the elemental highway today, let me find my cowrie shells. There we go. Fantastic. Look at all that water. Woo! We've got a yang water horse of a day. That's inner fire, yin inner fire, the freedom energy. Horses run free. This would be like a black horse, kind of like a Mustang, and really looking at all that water. Now, yin water reflects, not quite like the sun reflecting on yin water or yin fire, excuse me. A little different, but it's still reflecting. It's light for the yang water, and we are overly watery, right? I create like a simmering pot, just warming up the house with some cinnamon sticks, clove, create a wassail, whether you want to drink it or not, just creating the aromatics through your house. And we have both friends and we also have enemy or people that are jealous, maybe some lingering fear. Water is also fear. But all that water, and fire is love, it's joy, it's laughter, it's having fun. And the fire, yin fire, would be like a nice warm stove that's actually using the water for that simmering pot. How fantastic is that? Just saying. The rabbit is kindness. I would say inner kindness, it's yin energy. But water needs earth for guidance, to give it direction. So I would actually use earth as an element for grounding. Possibly for this day, more nurturing to our soul. I would also create a fire, light a candle, do some invocations, prayer, communicate with spirit, all the spirits, elementals, ancestors, otherwise. It really is the bridge between nature. Nature is also a fantastic idea because we do need the earth. The nature is going to soak up some of that water and also kindling the fire. But earth is what I feel. I know there's no metal or mineral. That's all about stories, communication, which I would actually bring in. So our ancestors' stories can also be heard, carried on those frequency. But I really am feeling earth for so much of that water as well. Earth to a water day master is actually leadership, power, being able to be a leader who is stable like a mountain that doesn't budge, but also nurturing for those around them. They bring a gift and a purpose. But all that water, it's also imagination, it's dream, exploration. It's like going to the depths of the idea. I find it curious at the end of Scorpio season, we've got all this water. I'm not going to lie. But the rabbit is this eclectic, innovative energy to perform. And we actually need more of it, energy, vitality. So that's kind of what I'm going with. You do you, and I'm just expressing what I'm feeling. And the messages for this week, I went with the Fae. I can only hold off so long before the other world starts speaking to me. And so the message for today on Mystical Monday is, of course, the fairy godmother, which I love that we've got the fairy godmother. I've been called the fairy godmother, spirit mama and whatnot, other terminologies. But the fairy godmother is part of the she, the lords and the ladies of the Fae. They actually bring in the energies of the singers of the realm into our world, and they mediate their energies. They're kind of the intermediary. They are like angels, divas. They've been called many of things. The singers, excuse me. But either way, the 25 is a faith holder, holding the faith, having faith, knowing we all have a fairy godmother. We all have gifts. We all got talents. We've all got grace, streams of grace, and so much more. Helpful healing lessons. But her name is Sari, which I love. And she's got this glimmering, glowing smile. Her hands, I don't know if you could tell, she's got sparks coming out of her hands, plus her jewels. Fairy dust. There's a miracle. And anything and everything in the in-between, sideways, and wherever. But she's the untangler. She untangles the webs that we weave and craft and create. And she protects us from ill will. She brings us choices when we thought we don't have none. She opens doors to those streams of grace. It's about great fortune, good fortune. And we receive these gifts from the universe. And often, sometimes we don't feel like we deserve them. Sometimes it's, I'm doing better than I deserve. But deserving or not deserving is usually never the issue. Knowing that we are love incarnate. We are our own little mini God divas. We are loved. Simple, often complex. But this little fairy godmother, sorry, I love her name, Sari. I'm probably saying it wrong, but who knows? We actually had her a few weeks ago as well, as far as I could remember. She was otherworldly, though. But she's the giver of grace, useful lessons, things that we learn from, getting the memo. And she's the only one to wear that true crown of stars, flowers, branches. And she's offering us a last minute kind of rescue today, knowing that good things are going to happen better than we possibly believe we deserve or that we don't deserve. We haven't thought to ask possibly about them. I have a song that everything in the world's going to work out just fine. There's a song, I'm not singing it correctly right now, but she teaches us all about living and receiving unconditionally and helping us to open up our hearts and accept the good pour, the divine pour, opening up to receive and accept divine will's blessings. Hello. Sometimes she showers us with the gift of abundance. So really keep an eye out for those unexpected fortunes, great fortune, especially if you may have thought you only saw or feel like you only get bad luck streaming your way. Karma could be good and also not so fantastic, right? So just remember to be grateful, say thank you, feel the blessings, even of the receivings, even gifting others. The gift of giving without anyone knowing who or where the gift came from. So that's all fantastic. And then on, I think I either say Terrific Tuesday or Talented Tuesday, but either way, on Tuesday, we got the Bodacious Bodak, which I love the word bodacious, right? The bodacious tatas or whatever. But the 59, that's the action we take. Is it? Or are we in the right mind? It's all about the mind, being mindful and heartfelt, a longing. This one's part of the fairy challengers. They bring us face to face with our fears, denials, traumas, misbehaviors, all those kinds of things. They often stick a foot out in front of us to see if we're paying any attention to where we're going. And they test us in ways where they only know we're able to pass the test. They're more of an initiation than a test. Some of them are minor and some of them are mini and major. But this is all about meddling, tampering, sabotage, but also great order. Bodak, or the old man, that just means old man, likes to fix things. He could be the grumpy old man character, but he's like mischievous as well and doing things out of character. He likes to mix things up and curious because it's a message that someone somewhere is meddling. They're uninvited on an issue. It could be you. It could be somebody else. It could be me. So see if you can kind of work it out, see who it is. It kind of reminds me of like cats needing a place to get all comfy. Just begin to kind of muse into that because it could turn webby as in messy. It could create a web of confusion, disorder, misunderstanding, mischief. Those are his gadabouts. So it's time to keep our fingers out of other people's business as well, which is kind of funny because the holidays strike and it's mischievous, it's mischief. So it's the energy of somebody who may mean well. Maybe we're getting subtle hints and messages and we're not noticing them. Sabotage, things that may be an accident. So this is just being aware and that we need to be aware of the subtle nudges, the subtle energies. And we have that happening for us. So subtle energies is like you can feel something pushing on you, but you're just pushing it aside. You're not paying attention. Those kinds of things. Or you're getting a subtle message that something, like a hint that something's sabotaging, like pulling the rug out from underneath your feet. So it's just about being cosmically aware is what I'm saying. And then on Wizardry Wednesday, we have Habya, which he's part of the fairy challengers as well. So it's feeling kind of challenging already. But this is inner peace, the 6 and the 1, inner peace and outer peace. That's part of the water clan, along with opening up our heart to spirit, spiritual healing, ancestral healing, ancient waters of healing, ancient wisdom. but it's about the heart opening up to receive spirit, possibly from the other world, the higher world, I'm hoping. But these are our imaginary fears, those unreal hazards, having realistic kind of cautionary energy. We don't know what the G stands for in his name. I kind of mused about that earlier, I'm not going to lie. But his powers lie in the imaginal realm, imagination, our fears, not in the real world, not in any of the worlds, I'd say. But this sometimes is the wicked thing in our closet, and it exists only in the collection of our fears. And his job is to kind of wave those fears, those imaginary fears, in front of each and every one of us, making them look more alive as he possibly can. So it's time to kind of look for the truth behind the fears, to distinguish between what is real and what is just our projection of an old trauma. Fears into our imaginary future, by delving into our old patterns, seeing the patterns. And literally, once you acknowledge and access the patterns, that's when we can see past them to a more liberating, accessing life, like in a different space. But honestly, I like to challenge my fears, honestly, seeing them for what they are, which really is false evidence affecting reality. That's when we gain greater insight and ability to really open up our hearts. When we confront a false fear or that false reality and kind of resolve them, that really makes us much stronger, and we can bear witness to others going through it as well. So that's kind of fantastic and fascinating. And then on Thanksgiving, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thanksgiving Day, we've got Arvel Parrot. He's a parrot, all about communication. But Arvel's part of the helpline troop. So this says help is on the way, a helping spirit, an elemental. These are the fae that are part of the elemental realms. If you've taken a venture with me, a gift and purpose. When I say elementals, it's air, wood, metal, mineral, fire, star, moonlight, ether. It's all the things and so much more. Stone, even. But Arvel is asking us to really create and set boundaries around our thoughts and our thinkings. It's like, what is our next thought? When you say that out loud, your mind kind of goes blank because we create the thoughts, right? So what's our next thought? Hopefully it's fantastic. But he's pointing light, which I love, to his throat center, our hearing sister, Vishuddha, right? The throat channel, telepathy there. And fairies usually aren't great communicators. They communicate differently, is what I say. They speak a different language. They speak through the melodies of nature, the rustling of leaves, the patterns in the clouds, the sky, the way water ripples, or how leaves fall to the ground or flow in the waters. So when we semaphore each other by lighting or flashing light to each other's throat center or just our own, when we do that, that's when we tend to read messages on an unconscious, unwavering level. But he's otherworldly. So what's that saying? Being otherworldly, this is saying our communication is blocked. Messages might go sideways. They could be at a crossroads, creating more confusion, illusion, which is possibly, I'm going to say with this week, 70% right or higher. Like something's missing. You might have heard somebody speak out of character or misread something, misunderstanding. An email went to the spam folder. Important words that aren't being said. All the throat center kind of issues. Gossip, lies, spiritual truths. You know, there's always two sides to the coin there. But I'd say give yourself time, give yourself space. Write down how you feel. Set boundaries around your mind. That's Thanksgiving Day. So, I mean, don't really bite your tongue, but also bite your tongue. You may have words you need to say. Just say them with compassion, with healing streams of light, healing streams of grace. I would probably go to the waters or tune into water and ask for some inner peace and some clarification on Thanksgiving Day. Just saying. And be authentic. Feel like you can use your voice. Sometimes we hold back our spiritual truths. Okay, so now we finish on Fantastic Friday with the Fey Lion. I'm telling you, right? The Fey Lion, part of the challengers. I mean, I think this may be a challenging week for most of us. I'm not going to lie. We tend to do things our heart isn't in alignment with for the other, not for ourselves. And really it all goes or returns to a feeling, opening up our mind to a new way of thinking and feeling and a new way of receiving, the divine pour of love. It all goes back to a feeling state, our sacral, and what we feel inside of ourselves needs to be validated and honored. But this is all about getting it right. It's kind of like delayed timing or tidying up loose ends. The feline, he makes lists. He makes lists of all the things we haven't done. But again, being that he's otherworldly, that's how we're finishing up this week. He's speaking to us like, whose idea was this anyway? And he's telling us to like hold back. So we're kind of in those arenas of the coulda, woulda, shouldas, resentment, regrets that really entangle us with those feelings of guilt or shame. I think this is kind of the aftermath of Thanksgiving. Maybe we've taken on an unrealistic or an unfair idea, or we've been somebody's placed too much demands on us, or we're setting demands upon other people. Works both ways. So maybe these are old, irrelevant emotional programs that we've been carrying around from the past in the backpack. So him being upside down just suggests that we need to kind of make some careful accounting of our guilty feelings, maybe muse about them a little bit, patternings. Maybe there's a trigger, maybe you're going through a growth period, and to really set aside just how many of them actually are our duty, our responsibility. How many are just simply the result of like other people making those unfair, unrealistic demands upon us. And then, go into a space and release the demands. Even when you're finished with them, it's like, okay, I did this once, I won't do it again. So it's kind of like looking at how many of these unfinished business, tasks, jobs, whatever, actually belong to the other, but they've been taken upon us, we've accepted them. It's kind of a misguided attempt to really be helpful when actually it's creating chaos inside of us. Even though it's like cleaning up the dishes when you don't want to do it, or watching somebody who could never clean the dishes. I don't know. I'm just thinking about Thanksgiving ahead of time, or trying to make martyrs of ourselves, if we're doing that. So it might be that part of us that really says out loud that crazy, foolish, otherworldly thing. Oh, let me do that for you. Or we're saying it inside of us quietly. If other people did things for themselves, that sets up conflict within us, then these conflicts use up a lot of energy. So it's kind of like saying no to the new opportunity sometimes, leaving a strain or unable to get on with our lives because we're doing more for others than we do for ourselves. So these feelings can even cause serious, now I wouldn't say just depression, it could be devastation in a way. And the way to resolve this one is either to just do the job, get it over with, be smart enough to not make any more promises after that. I know myself, I've gotten myself into situations because I said yes when I should have thought it through. Or just give notice to people around you that are involved that you're here by handing them back their own responsibility. Often hard to do. I know I do it myself, but in the end, it's worth it. It's worth the effort, presenting kind of relief and future peace. It's drawing the line, the boundary, basically. And yes, the holidays, right? I create a musing thought to go with this week's musing news. You're going to receive that in your inbox, by the way. But the elements, I would say do something nurturing for yourself first, your own heart. You may have holiday conflicts, just saying, right? And if you have a hard time using your voice, use a journal, burn the paper, offer it up to the heavenly universe. But I would affirm that I am in my sacred space. I'm cleansing my auric field of any filament kind of debris, filtering through that. I really like that affirmation. It kind of just flowed in this morning. I like to muse out loud when I create them. So with that, ashe and blessings, and welcome to the season of the holidays. I would just be in authentic gratitude in your heart space. No matter what happens, maybe step outside yourself a little bit and muse about what's happening in front of you. There's always these great moments, right? You got to find the joy in the humor. That's all I can say. So with that, again, ashe, blessings to you, and I'll see you on the other side. And here's a little clip from Terry Hyman.
Someone had signed, it happened for a couple of years, you dirty Jew. Like, you're thinking you're reading all these cute little things at the end of summer. Now here's this innocent child, and all of a sudden she, scarred me. And somebody tagged me on Facebook, and it was horrible. It's like, wait a minute. Obviously you don't know me because you don't know my platform if you're going to say I had something to do with all this hate crimes going on in Israel. Like, come on. It was tagging me. It was horrible. But it did take me back. But I did something it was really because I was going to like ignore it. No, no. I opened up my voice. I said what I had to say about it. Very short. I did it on posted on Facebook and Instagram. Stories went away, but Facebook, it has generated so much and I look so horrible. Yeah. I looked so bad. It was first thing in the morning. I didn't have makeup or glasses, but my voice became so important. So my point, yes, I have a point. My point is that it came back around to I'm breaking this habit. I'm breaking this imprint. I'm breaking a feeling small because I'm ridiculed for something that didn't belong to me.